Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron, and in this video we're going to be having a in-box review. It's going to be of Tamiya's 1/48 scale Mitsubishi A6M5c Zero Fighter. Now this is a bit of a interesting kit, something a little bit different. I have had a little look inside here and I have come across something not quite expected, but there's some lessons to be learned in this kit. The box art, as you can see, it does look rather fantastic. We've got some markings as well going on there, as you can see. 1/48 scale. Now the thing is about this kit, it's rather cheap. It is at a nice around about £13, and you could probably get it cheaper than that, so it's definitely on the cheap side. However, we'll just jump straight in, and probably the first thing you notice, the surface detail. Maybe get some light going on there. And the surface detail does actually look rather crisp, right? There's loads and loads of detail going on just in there. We've got wheel well detail also going on just in there as well. It is nice, but then if you sort of feel just a little bit, I'm feeling raised panel lines, but not just raised panel lines. We do have a lot of recessed panel lines. We've got lots of recessed rivets, right? But there is these odd raised panel lines also going on with this kit. Kind of strange. It's sort of some sort of a hybrid between raised and recessed panel lines. Got some cool bombs as well just on there, bit of seat detail. We'll talk more about the raised panel lines later, but just to move you through the kit, we've got our, let's just move that over here out of the way. We've got the fuselage section, right, and you know, again, we can feel the raised panel lines. There is a couple of recessed panel lines as detail on here as well, right, but a lot of it on the fuselage is raised panel lines. We've got some more wing section here. Again, it does look really sort of nice when you sort of see it. It does look rather nice and crisp, but you know, those raised panel lines are a little bit of a pain. We've got a cool pilot in here also. This pilot is, maybe bring you in a little bit closer. This pilot, I mean, there's a bit of flash going on around this kit. It is an old kit, which we'll get to in a bit. But you know what? We can see face, nose, eyes, mouth. You know, all the detail is nice and lovely there with this kit, so that's quite nice. On the inside we do have some actual detail just in there, which is rather cool, nice detail. Ejector pin marks are out of the way, same the opposite side as well, got some detail going on just in there also. Moving along, we have one more sort of big green sprue. My engine cowl did actually fall off, but this is all raised recessed panel lines, sorry, on here. It does look like this hat was on the end just on here, so just down to the packaging, as you can see, this is broken off, which is not good, because I mean that could leave a little bit of a mark there, which we might have to, you know, fill and sand later. On this sprue we've got all our little bits and bobs. We've got wheel well doors, landing gear. Let's just check for ejector pin marks. We do have some on the wheel well doors, but those will get sort of hidden a bit. There's like one or two on this side of the on the legs just there. Moving along, checking for ejector pin marks. Apart from that, that's not too bad. We've got some engine detail just here. You know, we are seeing that detail you'd normally get from these engines as well. Propeller, some wheels, some more cockpit detail just inside there. And what is rather cool, quite interestingly with this kit, is we do get a load of figures with it. I mean, we've already got a pilot, but we've got these 6 sort of ground crew going on, and they're all waving off our Zero, which is rather interesting to kind of have that as an extra. It's like a nice sort of bit of a diorama going on, so I do like that. And then we have the canopy section, so let's just pop this open, let's just chop it off. There we go. We'll open this up, and here we have it. Looking at this, as always, from good old Tamiya, it is looking nice and crisp. No real issues with that at all. And we don't. And what we have here is we've got that whole sort of, we can have canopy open, closed, and it's all just either one piece or 3 separate pieces, which is quite cool. Moving along, we've got some decals with this, a nice bunch of decals, or whatever you want to call them. Let's get this out. Haven't actually looked at these yet, but let's have a little look, and let's get them the right way around. We've got our big sort of roundels on here, nice and red. Feeling it, it may be kind of almost getting on the thick side. I know Tamiya, they can be a little bit awkward with their decals, but it's normally good to use like some sort of a Japanese type decaling solution. Something like the Mr. Mark range is normally good to use for like these Tamiya decals. But yeah, everything looks in registry. We've got instrument display panels as decals, which is not too bad. But yeah, that looks rather good. Then we have the typical Tamiya instructions, which is a fold out. I don't personally like the fold out ones, but there you go, still get there in the end. Looks like a bog standard World War II fighter build. Start with your cockpit, bring your fuselage halves together, bring your wing halves together, don't look too hard, and then you bring the fuselage and the wing section together and put all your little bits onto that. Doesn't look like you're going to have stuff like ailerons and flaps and all that kind of stuff going on where you can move it into different positions. It does look all fixed, right? And then on the back, the paper is kind of standard quality. It's in black and white. Then we have a bunch of markings, which does look like we've got an option for 6 different sets of markings. I mean, it's pretty much the same color scheme, but 6 different sets of markings, and there you go. Pretty much that is the whole kit. Now, it is £13, so it is a bargain. But a little bit of history about this kit, just to sort of let you know what's going on with it. Well, first off, it's back in 1973 when this kit was new tooled, right? So hence the raised panel line. So it's an old kit, but then in around about 2008 it looks like it got new tooled, and I'm only assuming this, that it sort of went for a bit of an upgrade and got a bunch of recessed panel lines added to it in about 2008. So we've got this hybrid going on here. So in all honesty, is this a recommended kit? I'd have to say not really, depending on the circumstance. To be totally honest with you, I mean, the lesson that's to be learnt in this is I went off and I brought this kit, and in all fairness, I didn't go out and do my usual research, which is one thing that when you're sort of doing the hobby, it is always good to do some research. Go on the internet, research the kit, just Google the Mitsubishi A6M5c 148 scale Tamiya, and you normally sort of end up finding videos just like this or something like that, and they normally sort of show you pictures, or you watch the videos and they let you know what this kit's all about. And what we found out, it's got raised panel lines. And as I say, I wouldn't have brought this if I knew what I knew. But in saying that, it's still a very cheap kit. I mean, as far as 148 scale kits go these days, it's from Tamiya as well. £13 is rather cheap, and as I say, you could probably get it cheaper than that. Not only that as well, in all fairness also, I mean, admittedly, for someone who's intermediate or advanced, going raised panel lines is pretty much a bit of a no-no. You just stay away from your research kits, like I've just said. But for someone who's a beginner, the kit's cheap. It's just nice to be able to just build the kit, and you can sort of hone your skills that way. Also, I will sort of point out as well, in all fairness also, is how I learned to do rescribing was plain and simply is I went off once. I was sort of trying to get the technique right and everything, but I just went off, brought a kit. It was completely and utterly covered in raised panel lines, no recessed panel lines, and I just kind of sanded away all your raised panel lines, rescribed the whole model, and pretty much you just do a whole model and that's it. You've got scribing under your belt, you've got the skill, and you're more good to go for whatever build you do after that. So in all fairness, this kit would be a good tutorial, because you can get it cheap and you can practice your rescribing, or if you're a beginner. So hopefully you're not too disappointed in it being raised panel lines as much as I am, but yeah, I mean, hopefully you've learned something, and do your research, and these kits can be used for tutorial basis, or if you're just a beginner or something like that. And you know what, you probably find it at a bargain in these places. Just don't be fooled by these nice lovely boxes that make it look nice and new and everything, and you think you're getting a new kit, but technically 1973 you're not really getting a new kit. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this inbox review of a Zero by Tamiya 148 scale. But until next time, my name is Bob Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed.